What is this item I found in my late father's garage? Everyone I asked has no idea what it is or hasn't seen one before. Around 14 inches long, with wires connected to it, and has words per minute in hundreds stamped on it. Someone said it's a typewriter typing speed test machine missing the legs, but I'm not 100% convinced. Anyone got a good idea? It's a 1960s reading pacer, similar to one of these. It was patented on May 3, 1966 by Benjamin A. Alper and Daniel J. Conroy for the Americana Interstate Corporation of Mundelein, Illinois. These were used to help school children, or even adults, read faster. A mechanical plate would slide down the page, letting you know where to read in order to make a certain pace. The pace can be adjusted from 100 words per minute to 1,000. But this robotic speed reader was another invention that didn't work. The problem was that the device was quite loud, and the metal plate would scrape across the pages like nails on a chalkboard. Ultimately, these distractions killed off the Read-O-Matic. I found this at the thrift, and it is solid brass. But what is it? I've tried image searching it, but the internet has no idea. I was thinking of repurposing it for my toothbrush, but the opening was a bit tight. Any help is very welcome. That's a 1960s paperweight for a desk that also came with a matching letter opener and scissors. It's missing both of those. Here's a complete set I found on Etsy, listed for $200. What is this, some kind of antique wooden tool with what we think is a metal base, or maybe stone? That is part of a collection of Victorian objects in Scotland. I think this is an antique clothing iron, maybe a mini press of some kind. Does anyone know what this tool is actually used for? It's an antique French knife cleaning stone, from the days when knives rusted. I have the same one with a stone sole. I read in a book that it was also a tool for removing burrs from the edge of a blade. I bought a new boat in France and found these in one of the lockers. What are they, and what are they for? I also found a note with their weight, so I suspect that they are being used as ballast weights. Any help you can provide would be much appreciated. They are sacrificial anodes. These are metal, usually zinc, aluminum, or magnesium alloys, that are bolted or welded onto the underwater parts of a vessel. Their job is to corrode instead of the ship, protecting the steel hull and other metal components from rust and electrochemical damage. When a metal hull sits in seawater, it becomes part of an electrochemical system. Different metals and seawater chemistry create tiny electrical currents that cause corrosion. Sacrificial anodes interrupt this by being the metal that corrodes first. Over months or years, the anodes slowly dissolve and must be replaced. My in-laws found this in the loft of a bungalow that they just bought, that hasn't been renovated since it was built in the 1970s. The only markings we could find are the ones shown in the images, possibly Arabic or Hindi. Someone said that North African folks would jerry-rig old parts together to make a gun, usually a large caliber for big game hunting. Any information would be great. It's an 18th century Indian Toradar matchlock musket with Damascus barrel from circa 1780, a classic example of South Asian firearm craftsmanship from the Mughal and post-Mughal periods. These guns are visually striking, mechanically simple, and culturally important. Even after flintlocks became common in Europe, matchlocks remained widespread in India due to their low cost, reliability, and local manufacturing tradition. What are these two pins I found in my grandpa's dresser? No one in the family knows anything about it. I'm thinking maybe military or biker related. Does anyone have any info? The phrase "la manovra mal amico" is the Esperanto for the maneuver enemy. This motto was associated with the US Army Aggressor Force, specifically the Aggressor Center that oversaw this program. The aggressor force was a fictitious enemy created after World War II to provide realistic opposition during Army training exercises. The unit was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, and provided specially modified uniforms and equipment. They follow the doctrine Cold War enemy would most likely use. They even spoke their own language. They really put a lot of work and effort into what they did back then. Though the United disbanded in the 1970s, the tradition was improved on, and training camps were set up in the California desert, and later in the former Tigerland in Louisiana. What is this some type of metal equipment found in the Pennsylvania woods at the base of a mountain? It looks like a cage, or maybe a sieve. Someone said this is a snowmobile trail rotary screening drum groomer system from the 1950s. Does anyone have a name or further information on this equipment? It's an abandoned early 1900s heavy-duty trommel screen at the St. Lawrence Quarry in Berks County, Pennsylvania. The abandoned quarry is wedged in between two hills in the borough of St. Lawrence and about 3 miles east of Reading. It was used for sorting and cleaning sizable rocks and aggregates in quarrying or mining operations. As the cylindrical drum spins on an incline, it separates materials. Smaller particles fall through the perforations or mesh, while larger pieces continue to the end of the drum, where they exit separately. The quarry was operated under the Kirschman name starting sometime before 1909, intensified its quarrying in the early 1910s, and was finally shut down and purchased by the city of Reading on March 16, 1922. The city then sold off the equipment the following year. What is this large metal cylinder in the redwoods in Northern California? I found this 500 feet off an abandoned trail, and miles from any service road. There was nothing else in the area I could find that was human-made, and it's been abandoned for a long time, from the looks of it. I know there used to be an old shingle mill in the area, so it could be from then. Any thoughts? It's an abandoned portable steam boiler, likely used for some sort of logging operations around the late 1800s to early 1900s. It was likely pulled around either by oxen or a steam tractor to eventually be harnessed to a small logging mill or other steam-driven machinery. This stuff was often just left behind in remote sawmills, mines, and quarries. It's too big and expensive to chop up and too heavy to haul out. I am going through the things my mother left when she passed away a few years ago. I think this is a bellows that the leather has rotted from. My father was a music teacher, and my mother was a science teacher. It is possible it is for a church organ. Or my mother may have had it to show how a bellows works. Can you please tell me what this was for? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.